Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Talkoffamepod Podcast. I'm Kyliemontigney, and today we're welcoming Jacqueline Waller. She started YouAreLoved Store to remind people to be gentle with others and themselves. Recognizing the power of shared vision, she asked Amy, her sister from another mister, to join her in creating and growing You Are Loved. We believe that everyone deserves to live a life filled with harmony and balance. Their goal is to inspire and empower women to find a perfect balance between career, self-care, and family bonds. Through their various products, podcasts, resources, and community, they aim to create a supportive environment where women can thrive. They are also dedicated to helping you discover your inner strength, achieve your goals, and live a fulfilling life. And really, I just love what their mission's really all about once I discovered them on social media. I really appreciate you coming on and taking the time to chat with us today. And welcome to the podcast. It means so much.
Thanks. Thank you. I appreciate that.
So, can you share with us the inspiration behind starting YouAreLoved Store? Because you guys have been having a really good mission for people and loving themselves over the last couple of years. But what was kind of like the inspiration behind it?
It was during the pandemic. I saw that there was a lot of hurting and stuff like that in the world. And that's really what inspired it. Um it's kind of weird because when I was a child, a teenager and stuff like that, like I always had to make sure that before I hung up the phone with my mom or my dad and some of my friends and stuff, that I would always just make sure that we told each other we loved each other before we hung up the phone. And like if I was being a bratty kid and like just hung up with my mom or whatever and didn't tell her I loved her, I'd like have this anxiety and I'd have to call her back just to tell her that, because you just never know what may happen. And then during the pandemic, I was a part of this group and I was like wanting some ideas because I wanted to create like an inspirational brand. And then this girl who is this creative designer sent me this previous logo, and it had a heart. It said, "You are loved." And I was like, oh my gosh, that's just like perfect. And I felt like it was God sent, right? Had
Yeah.
sent it to me. And so then that's when I created it and started the company and stuff like that. And then and it was really, I just wanted to bring love and kindness to the world. And then last year is when Amy joined on with me. So
Especially with you starting this during the pandemic when it was much needed, it's literally like perfect timing. It's
yeah.
like especially during the pandemic, everyone was stuck at home. I don't know how it was with you in Georgia, but I know here in Pennsylvania, we literally got literally knocked out. It was like we everything just smashed onto us and we weren't able to do anything. And
Yeah.
I'm sure many people had similar situations with being stuck at home. Like why
Yeah.
during the pandemic early stages, I was like, this is some virus. It's probably like the flu. We'll be fine. Like this is normal. It's probably just some stupid virus that's probably just gonna freak people out and the media is probably go over simulate it.
Yeah.
And that made, I'm sure, a lot of people like, what am I doing with my life now? Made them question. And of course, loving themselves is a question that everyone's questions was in jeopardy because it really impacted a lot of people's health, not just teenagers, but also adults. And
Yeah.
that is something that a lot of people needed during that time in
Yeah.
2020 through like 2023 or so when things started getting slower is that like a lot of people told people they loved them before the pandemic. And now, since everyone was kind of getting sick and passing away from COVID, everyone really just like realized, like, oh, well, I'm not telling my family or friends I loved them before, and now what changed during the pandemic?
Yeah.
It did like open up a lot of minds, and especially mine. It opened like what people are dying from this. That I can't imagine someone losing a family member from COVID. And if I had one, I would want to say I love them to them before
Yeah.
they passed away. Even if you didn't think, oh, I'm fighting with, let's just say, my mother. and she thinks she's fine, but she might end up something happening. So like you
Yeah.
never know what exactly is going on, but you just have to tell everyone they love them, even though you don't think they're gonna pass away at that certain moment. You just never know.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. You just never know. And so I just feel it's like always important just to like make sure that that is said before that person, before just anything, and you just want to like just make sure that they know. I recently had a friend of mine, an older gentleman who I know, and I was leaving back from Florida back to Georgia because I traveled back and forth even during the pandemic and stuff like that. I still traveled. It didn't matter to me. I was like, if I can go, I'm gonna go. um but he was dealing with depression nobody knew. And this night before I was leaving, I just told him that I loved him and gave him a hug. And then 2 days later, he made the decision to go. And he told me he loved me back. And just the sadness of losing my friend, but then the peace of knowing that I told him before he left that I loved him and that he was loved, um was made me feel better too, and just knowing that that was the last thing that I said to him.
Yeah, like
So
it's more meaningful if someone ever passes away, whether it's a family, a friend, or something. To say you love them as your last thing you ever said, like it just brings you more peace in your life. Like
yeah,
it just means different from me fighting with a loved one and then passing away a couple hours later, and that's something that you leave off. And like
yeah,
that is something I was just telling my father a few days ago. I was like, this is why I hate fighting with people, is because of this. Like, this is what I'm afraid of. A lot of people don't have to realize, like, anyone can pass away at any moment. Even if we think, like, oh, they're early 30s, they look amazing. Like, you never know, like, what people are doing mentally or physically, or what health conditions they have,
yeah,
even though they might seem physically fit and out there.
yeah,
That's something that sometimes I have to tell myself 24/7, even though sometimes I'm like, damn, like this person looks amazing. They're probably gonna live until like they're 90. Like, let's be real.
yeah.
Like,
Hopefully.
yeah, you mentioned that your sister from another Mr. Amy joined you in this adventure. Like, how did that partnership come to be, and what unique strengths does each of you bring to the table for your loved?
So her and I have known each other for 30 something years, and since we were kids. And she's super creative. Like, she designed the logo that's
Mhm.
behind my head. She designed our planner. She's just super creative, and which I don't have that skill. Okay. And I just said to her, okay, uh we've tried to do a couple of things before, uh and stuff didn't work out or whatever, but I was like, listen, I really need your help in this. And can and asked her to join me. And then she said okay, and I was like, all right, are you going to be serious about it? And she said yes, and I was like, okay. And part of me didn't believe it that she was saying yes and was serious about it. Not wasn't had nothing to do with her, it was just me. Like, I just really couldn't believe that it was true, because I had been fighting for 3 years. I had a couple of different partners and stuff, and just trying to find the right fit and the right person to build this vision uh for with me. And when she said yes, and then we've just, encourage each other. Like, when one person's up, the other person's down, whatever, we encourage each other. So she brings the creativity, I bring the back end business knowledge, the sales, the some of the marketing part of it, although I think she's a much better writer than I am. So I wish she would pick that up, but I do that for now. And the emails, the structure, all of that stuff. And
Mhm.
she does the creativity behind it.
Mhm. Especially with you guys being friends or known each other for 30 years,
Yeah.
like you guys, like I personally would want to work with someone that I know for so long rather than someone that just met on a Zoom call interviewing someone. You just feel more comfortable that way than someone
Yeah.
random person that might be saying, "Oh yeah, I'm the mo most amazing person ever." Like, let's just keep it real. But if you know someone that maybe for 30 years, it's you feel much more comfortable with that person than
Yeah.
some random person applying for this job.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, we both love each other as sisters, and we both trust each other 100%. Like, I know that I could leave $1 million sitting in front of her and she wouldn't take $1. And if she did, she'd tell me.
Honestly,
So,
honestly, I'll probably just sneak in like a dollar or two, and you can just keep the rest. Like, if
yeah.
there's $1 million in front of me, I might as well take something for myself too. You can
Okay.
just keep it for whatever you can get use that money
Yeah.
for.
Yeah.
But you guys build a supportive community, and it's kind of a key part of your vision. What initiatives or programs do you guys have in place to foster this sense of community among women? And I know you guys host a variety of different things, as podcasting and many other things, but what initiatives or programs do you guys kind of help foster this community?
So we have a group on Facebook for elevating women, that women are a part of, where we put motivational comments and posts and questions and different things like that for the women. We have our Now that we have our planner, I've been trying to figure out the logistics, but we want to do a mastermind class for people that have purchased the 18-month planner, which in that provides motivational focused around three key areas, which is your friends and family, self-care, and your career, and to help provide motivation, encouragement, and suggestions to be able to help you balance and juggle everything that we have going on in our lives, and doing like a mastermind class with that, lives on Facebook and TikTok and so forth. And then we did which we're going to be doing another one. We did a 21 day, we have a 21-day transformational journal. And so we did a thing for 21 days where women could join on our live. We stream on StreamYard, and then they could join our live and ask questions as we went through the journal and different things that we were tackling that week.
So is all people who signed up for this program that join it, or is it to the public for anyone can join?
Well, it's on social media, so anybody can really join on to it, because we go live publicly.
Mhm.
But the people that get notified about it ahead of time are the ones that had got like the journal. But we advertise that out and it's free, so anyone can get it and sign up and be a part of it. But if anyone came on to one of the lives and had questions or whatever, we would totally answer them.
So that is something that I should look into because that is something that, a lot of people are interested in, including myself. To turn things over, like what advice would you give women who are struggling to balance their career, self-care, and family responsibilities? Because that is something, honestly, that I'm struggling with. Of course, with school starting in a few days and in other things, working two jobs, whatever. Like, it can be a struggle, but what are some advice for people that are kind of dealing with that sort of thing?
My friend Pam actually gave me some of the best advice in this, and it's something that I've been going through piece by piece on my TikTok, but is creating time boundaries. So
Mhm.
she's like the boundary queen, and creating time boundaries. So for example, we have 8 hours per se, 8 hours for sleep, 8 hours for work, and then 8 hours for, whatever, for ourselves. And so you just have those time boundaries and you don't allow people to go. So if you wake up in the morning and you wake up early enough to where if you want to read the Bible or you want to pray or you want to meditate or whatever, you have that time boundary that is just specifically dedicated to that. And then you obviously have your work. And then in your career, you have your emails, phone calls and stuff like that. And you don't allow yourself to get distracted away from that.
Mhm.
And if someone tries to schedule something that or say, for example, if someone tries to schedule you, like you've set up time for schoolwork, right? You're like, okay, I have some exams coming up. I have to make sure that I'm studied. I have 2 hours a night that I have for studying. And then you have a friend that calls you and says, hey, you want to go to this party? It starts at a time that's like halfway through your studying. And if you are diligent with like your time boundaries, you can say, uh, if it's available after I'm done with my studies, great. If not, then I guess I'm gonna have to miss it because I'm paying for school and this is the most important thing that I have right now, and I need to stick to this. And so it's really just kind of balancing that out and not allowing things to pull us in a lot of different directions. Because when we don't have that discipline with our boundaries, and I deal with this a lot, is feeling like I'm pulled in a lot of different directions. And then that's when I get anxiety and feeling like my life is chaotic. But when I do stay committed to my own personal time boundaries, I feel more in control and more at peace.
I'm literally the same exact way. Like I'm the type of person that hates to say no to people. Like I mean I'm a people pleaser, so it's like
Yeah.
I literally hate saying no to any like people, even though I may be busy with work or schoolwork or whatever I may be doing. Like I always say yes, even though sometimes I do not want to do it.
Yeah.
But I just want to please people and make them happy, even though I'm not satisfying myself in that sort of
Yeah.
situation. And sometimes I literally need to say no, but like I literally been like this for years. So it's not like it's like a new thing. But even though you might have like a certain time for maybe a couple hours for schoolwork, for studying or homework, or you have time for maybe family time or whatever it may be. Like you need to stick to that schedule. Like sometimes
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh, screw this schedule. I'm just going to hang out with my friends for a little
Yeah.
while to get a break. And some people need that. Like some people maybe have been working all day and they have tons of other crap to do, and their friends are asking them to do something. And
Yeah.
that's the time to actually say like, okay, do I need a break? Should I go out and spend time with my friends or family right now? And
Yeah.
I've been working all day because you don't want to push yourself all day to feel so exhausted, even though you've been going all day nonstop. But you deserve a break every once in a while.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and then if you have to break that up a little bit, you can, but that's one of the nice things about having something like a planner, whatever planner someone uses. And so you can create that. And then if you really want to say no and you can't, because I was definitely a people pleaser for a long period of time, and I still am sometimes. As you could be like, my schedule says I'm not allowed right now. My schedule says I'm not
So,
free. You
like,
just
I
blame it on
want
your
to say yes,
schedule.
but my schedule is saying no. So I
Yeah.
kind of have to pay attention to that if
Yeah.
I
My
do want.
planner, my
I
planner
know my
says,
planner is saying no, but I honestly want to say yes. So
yeah.
that is something that I literally do all the time. Is like I look at my planner and be like, gosh, my planner is gonna win this one today, I guess.
Yeah.
Like what how many things you have on your to-do list? You're like, nah, there's no chance I'm going out. Like
Yeah.
all this stuff going on. But what exciting plans do you guys have in store for the future of You Are Love Store?
So, well, we want to grow our network and grow the community of women, into helping it's just really like trying to figure out ways to be able to help women come back to a center of balance and peace in their lives. And so we'll be creating additional projects. But the other thing that I want to do is the biggest thing is like with this mastermind and be able to build a larger community so women know that they can be vulnerable, they can lean on each other and get that support when it's needed, and having the right tools in place. Like even with someone's like trying to create the right type of time boundaries, like, hey, I always recommend my friend Pam out, like you should really speak to her, she's great at journaling and all that stuff. So and then helping to connect the ladies to grow their networks as well.
Mm.
So but yeah, but our goal is to we're in one Hallmark right now that has a few stores. And so we're looking to grow that and grow our stuff to have it available throughout the country.
Awesome. Like the way you guys do things is something that I absolutely love is because
Uh-huh.
women really need to support women. No matter if you're a teenager, a kid, or even an adult, you should support women no matter what you are or what race or what you do as a person that is kind of making, trying to afford things maybe for their family or for yourself.
Yeah,
Not everyone's going to do the exact same thing that you are doing or the lifestyle that you might have. And that
right.
is sometimes like the way I am is that sometimes I might kind of underestimate some things in people. And that like is something that I absolutely hate doing, but I do it anyways because maybe people have different lifestyles or anything. And I feel like everyone deals with that every once in a while.
Yeah.
And like when you have that sort of network that you guys provide, it helps you grow as a person and to love yourself even more. Because not a lot
Yeah.
of people have that sort of resources as same resources that you guys provide. Because you won't grow as a person unless you get help from people.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And we have to understand that it's okay that you can't do it all, and that like God gives us gifts and we all have different gifts, right? So whatever the strengths are. And so like Amy's great at creativity. I'm
Mm,
great at the back end and setting up funnels and all that. Well, I use other people to set that up, but I know that it needs to be done, you know?
mm,
And then that's where you have like a strong network of individuals that you can get advice from or encouragement or whatever, because it's people that
mm.
have been through stuff before and just figuring out a way to get to figure it out instead of reinventing the wheel and falling flat on your face. You can speak to somebody else that already has.
I know that already has experience with that sort of thing rather than just figure on your own and literally have no clue what you're doing because I literally don't know everything, even though it might seem like it.
Yeah,
Like it's good to rely on people that have those sort of skills to maybe ask them like, how do you do this? How do you do that? It's not bad to ask questions. You are
yeah,
a strong person asks those questions is the bigger you grow and the more questions you get, the more you learn about
yeah,
yourself and other things that you're doing, whether it's a career, money, jobs. It can be literally anything. You can literally learn so much just asking one question. It can be anything.
yeah. So, so yeah.
Like, how can people connect with you in your love store?
They can go to You Are Loved, YouAreLoved .store is our domain. But if they do want to download the 21-day transformational journal for free, it's an e-copy. You can go to youarelovedjournal.com, spelled out, and that's where you can get the journal for free.
Awesome. So
Yeah.
I'll make sure to put all that information below for everyone to check out. And it's a really amazing resource if anyone is looking for that sort of thing. If you're maybe struggling with balance, self-care, or just family time, this sort of thing is perfect for you. I know I'm going to check it out because I have Christmas school coming up in a few days. Scheduling can be very hectic and back to
Yeah.
school activities, and everyone knows how hectic it can be working a few jobs, activities, school, wherever it may be, can be very difficult. But I really appreciate everything that you are doing and the amazing resources you are giving women. It really is really impactful. And I'm so glad that you were able to do this because there's not a lot of resources like this.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So thank you everyone for listening. I'll stay tuned for the next few episodes. It's going to be a very busy few weeks with new episodes, but I'm so excited. So make sure to stay tuned by subscribing, liking, review, and following us on social media. And thank you everyone for listening. And